Tonight, a defining moment in Donald Trump's presidency.
You look at both sides. I think there's blame on both sides, and I have no doubt about it, and you don't have any doubt about it either.
The president, unfiltered and defiant, responding to criticism of his comments condemning the Charlottesville attack.
What about the alt-left that came charging at the, as you say, the alt-right? Do they have any semblance of guilt? Let me ask you this. What about the fact they came charging with clubs in their hands, swinging clubs? Do they have any problem? I think they do.
Both protesters and counter-protesters came ready for a fight, but Saturday's rally was sponsored in the first place by white nationalists who showed up in force. It's one of those attendees, police say, who plowed into a group of people, killing 32-year-old Heather Heyer.
You had some very bad people in that group, but you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name.
Do you think that what you call the alt-left is the same as neo-Nazis?
Those people, all
Are you
of those
putting them on
people,
the same level?
me,
That's my question.
I've condemned neo-Nazis. I've condemned many different groups, but not all of those people were neo-Nazis, believe me. Not all of those people were white supremacists by any stretch.
They were white nationalists.
Those people were also there because they wanted to protest the taking down of a statue, Robert E. Lee.
Should that statue be taken down?
Excuse me. And you take a look at some of the groups and you see, and you know it if you were honest reporters, which in many cases you're not, but many of those people were there to protest the taking down of the statue of Robert E. Lee. So, this week it's Robert E. Lee. I noticed that Stonewall Jackson's coming down. I wonder, is it George Washington next week? And is it Thomas Jefferson the week after? You know, you really do have to ask yourself, where does it stop? George Washington was a slave owner. Was George Washington a slave owner? So will George Washington now lose his status?
The president's words today echo what he said Saturday when he blamed many sides for hatred, bigotry, and violence, not condemning then the white supremacists and neo-Nazis who participated in the weekend rally. He did denounce them explicitly Monday, but today,
all of those people, excuse me, I've condemned neo-Nazis. I've condemned many different groups, but not all of those people were neo-Nazis, believe me. Not all of those people were white supremacists.
The president says he never spoke with his controversial chief strategist, Steve Bannon, about his original statement this weekend.
I like him. He's a good man. He is not a racist, I can tell you that. He's a good person. He actually gets a very unfair press in that regard. But we'll see what happens with Mr. Bannon.
The extraordinary back and forth you just watched was never supposed to happen in the first place. NBC News has learned the president was not set to answer any questions, according to a senior White House official who tells us President Trump simply went rogue. His new chief of staff, John Kelly, stood off to the side as it happened, at times lowering his head and folding his hands. Remember, President Trump came down to the lobby of Trump Tower in the first place to talk about infrastructure, but as has happened again and again in this administration, what he wants to do ended up overshadowed by what he said instead. Lester?
Hallie Jackson on Fifth Avenue here in New York. We can hear protests.